How we doing today, guys? It's Jesse with the Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. And, okay, so I don't know how much a lot of y'all know about cryptos and digital currencies and stuff like that, but one of the advantages to, like, Bitcoin, for example, because that's the one most people know the most about, the cool part about Bitcoin is the fact that you can go onto the blockchain and you can look at the ledger and you can see where every single Bitcoin has ever gone. Every Satoshi, every little piece of it, and seeing where they've been transferred to. You've seen the number that they come from and the number they go to. Now, unless you know who those numbers are attached to, there's no way for you to actually know who those people are. But you can track the movement of every single bit of Bitcoin out there because of the blockchain and because of the ledger. Now, it's not a bad thing when it's an independent, decentralized system where nobody has central control over it. But when a person has a central control over that system, when it's just one entity that controls all of it, that's when it becomes a problem. And that's why I want to bring you this article from The Blaze today, because this is a very, very scary aspect. And I'll explain after the article exactly why the idea of a digital US dollar, a digital currency for the United States that's controlled by the Fed, is a very, very scary thing indeed. All right, so from theblaze.com, the news site I recommend you all check out, Biden to issue an executive order directing the development of a fully digital dollar. Now, I believe this is expected to sign one. President Joe Biden is expected to sign an executive order on Wednesday directing the federal government to move forward with the development and implementation of a digital U.S. dollar. Biden's executive order, which is also expected to address outstanding issues the federal government has pertaining to cryptocurrencies, will require the Treasury Department, the Commerce Department, and other key agencies to prepare reports on the future of money, especially CBDCs, or central bank digital currencies, Reuters reports. The order also requires these departments to prepare reports on the different roles that cryptocurrencies play in the global economy and their role in the near future. Officials in the Biden administration said that wide-ranging oversight of the cryptocurrency market, which surged past $3 trillion in November, is essential to ensure the national security, financial stability, and U.S. competitiveness and stave off the growing threat of cybercrime. Don't believe any of that. The only reason they want a central digitalized currency is so that way they can track you and keep control of you. Analysts reportedly view the long-awaited executive order as pressing acknowledgement of the growing importance of cryptocurrencies and the possible risk they pose to American and global financial systems. Biden's executive order directs the federal government to determine what infrastructure is needed for the implementation of a CBDC, central banking digital currency. In January, the U.S. Federal Reserve addressed Congress regarding whether or not the United States should embrace a fully, that's the key here, fully digital currency. In a report titled Money and Payments, the U.S. Dollar in the Age of Digital Transformation, the Federal Reserve detailed the current role that digital currencies like Bitcoin and central bank digital currencies and digital payment processors play in the American economy. The country's central bank wrote, while a central bank digital currency could provide a safe digital payment option for households and businesses as these payment systems continue to evolve, and may result in faster payment options between countries, there may also be downsides. And we'll get into some of the scary ones here in a minute. One such downside is the abundance of fraudulent activity occurring in the digital marketplace, warned the Federal Reserve. Other red flags raised were the preservation of monetary stability with an economy that is based entirely on a digital currency and the complete restructuring of the commercial banking system to accommodate a solely digital financial system. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that the Federal Reserve is optimistic about engaging with the public, elected representatives, and a broad range of stakeholders as we examine the positive and negatives of the central bank digital currency in the United States. Currently, 9 countries have launched and implemented central bank digital currencies, and 16, including China, have begun development of CBDC's pilot program, a central bank digital currency. Okay, so let me explain where the scary part of a central bank digital currency comes into play. Okay? So the main problem with a central bank digital currency is also the biggest benefit to things like Bitcoin that are decentralized. It's the ability to know where every single cent, every single piece of a digital currency has gone and can be tracked, right? Okay, so the cool part is if you want to verify something, now once you transfer Bitcoin, it's pretty much gone. There's no way getting it back unless you have access to the person who has keys to the wallet that you sent it to. But if you screwed up and you sent it to the wrong wallet, it's completely and totally gone because there is no decentralized server or individual or group or conglomerate or company or anything like that that can go in, that controls the code, that can go in and reverse that transaction. It's not the way Bitcoin works. It's not the way any of these actually decentralized cryptocurrencies work, which is why you'll hear people talk about the fact that Bitcoin is the only actually true decentralized cryptocurrency because there is no company behind it. There is no person doing it. It's held on a bunch of nodes throughout the entire world with all of the ledger and everything else being spread out all over the planet. You would literally have to shut the internet down in order to shut Bitcoin down. And too many societies depend on that. All right, so that's the reason why Bitcoin's a great thing for being a decentralized cryptocurrency on the blockchain. Here's the problem with the United States government having access to a digital U.S. currency that they force on you to use. For one, they control it. So because it's controlled by a central system, unlike Bitcoin, who only has a very specific amount of Bitcoins that will ever be produced in its entire lifetime, and once it hits that max, it's done and it can't go any farther. With a central banking digital currency, the government controls it, which means they can inflate it or deflate it however they like, okay? Because they have central control over the whole blockchain. Now, this is some of the examples of some of the stuff that they could do with that, right? So say inflation's getting too high. Well, they'll just start removing money from the system. Well, of course, they're going to remove it from whoever they think no longer needs it. Now, whether that be somebody whose political views they don't agree with, which is what we've seen with a lot of stuff. I mean, you've seen all the people that have been canceled on the internet, removed off of YouTube, removed off of other social media platforms. You think they won't do it? They will. Look at the FBI going after grandmas who wandered into the Capitol on January 6th. So the central government will control it. They will be able to remove it. They will be able to expand the currency as they want. Here's the second part. Here's part two of what's really going to get scary, okay? They will be able to limit your purchases, okay? This isn't where it's like cash and you can go anywhere and spend it any way you want and nobody's ever going to be able to track it because it's cash and you're just handing it over to somebody else. Private transactions cannot be tracked. With a central banking digital currency, it can be. They are going to know everywhere they send you money. They are trying to eliminate cash so that way it makes it easier to control what you spend money on. Okay, they will literally be able to freeze your bank account. They will be able to go, oh, you can't buy those snack goods, fatty. You got to put those ho-hos and those ding-dongs down. You're too fat, according to the health records that we now have on file with the government because we control your entire healthcare system. We think it's best for you not to be able to spend your digital U.S. dollar on Twinkies and ho-hos because we think you're too fat. So they'll literally come in and stop you from purchasing things, whether that be Twinkies and ho-hos, or whether that maybe it's a book they think you shouldn't read. Maybe it's something that maybe it's a certain person on the internet that they don't want you sending your money to because they don't agree with the mainstream media narrative. That's the problem with a completely digital banking system. Now, you can say our banking system basically is digital, but at least at this point, you still have the ability to go to the ATM, pull out actual cash, and go and spend it anywhere you want, whether it's the local fruit stand, or if it's your local ammo dealer, or whoever it is, you can go out and spend that money, and the government has no way of tracking it. With a central bank dollar, they will. They will be able to find out where you spend every single penny, and you will not be able to hide any of it. Now, some people go, well, if I'm not doing anything illegal, what do I have to hide? Like the examples I talked about earlier. What if they want to stop you from buying that new conservative book? Maybe they think you've got enough ammo and you don't need any more. Why do you need to keep buying so much ammo? Do you really need that new AR-15? Do you really need that new 9mm? The government doesn't think so. So guess what? You're not going to be able to spend your money at the gun shop anymore. That's exactly where all of this comes down to, is them being able to track you and control your currency and exactly what you spend it on at all times. So, repeat after me. No digital US dollar. No central digital banking currency in the United States. Reject it. Tell your congressman, tell all of your representatives, hell, tell your local city councilmen. No digital US dollar ever. But hey, that's just my common sense take. This is Jesse with The Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy. But hey, that's just my common sense take. This is Jesse with The Common Man Corpus Christi, bringing you news and politics through a common sense lens. Thanks for watching.